You wanted a taste of sweetness. Here's your bitter truth. I used to think my biggest worry was Nico's shoelaces, not the end of the world in an iPad case. Tuesday morning began like any other in our suburban Cleveland home. My 7-year-old son Nico was fumbling with his backpack while I made coffee, and my wife, Ariana, already dressed in her sharp marketing exec outfit, was tapping away on her phone. "Zane, can you take Nico today? I've got an early meeting," she said without looking up. "Sure thing," I replied, stirring my coffee. Being an IT security manager came with flexible hours unlike Ari's, which seemed to stretch endlessly into nights and weekends lately. Nico grabbed what he thought was his school iPad from the charging station. We had 3 identical tablets, mine, Ari's, and Nico's, all in identical black cases. "Got everything, buddy?" I asked. "Yep. We're doing show and tell about our families today," Nico said brightly. "I'm going to show pictures from our vacation." Ariana's head snapped up. "What pictures?" "The ones on the tablet," Nico answered innocently. Something flickered across her face, panic, but she quickly smiled. "That's nice, honey. Have fun at school." I dropped Nico off and headed downtown. Around 10:30, my phone rang. The school. "Mr. Keller," Principal Rowe said tightly. "Please come in right away." "Is Nico okay?" I asked, my chest tightening. "Your son is fine, but you need to come now." The 15-minute drive felt endless. When I arrived, I saw 2 police cars outside. My stomach dropped. Principal Rowe led me to her office. Nico sat there, confused. Officer D'Angelo stood nearby. Mrs. Patel, his teacher, looked pale. "Mr. Keller," the principal began carefully, "there was an incident during show and tell. Nico tried to show family photos, but what we found on his iPad." She gestured to the device on her desk. Officer D'Angelo took over. It contained content inappropriate for a child. My blood went cold. "What kind of inappropriate?" Mrs. Patel cleared her throat. "Explicit videos and photographs of your wife with multiple partners." The room tilted. I dropped into the nearest chair. "Are you aware of this content?" the officer asked. "Do you wish to press charges?" I stared at the iPad, my wife's iPad, the one Nico had taken by mistake. I asked quietly, "May I see it?" Principal Rowe hesitated, then turned the screen toward me. My stomach churned. There was Ariana, my wife of 10 years, naked and enthusiastic with a man I recognized. Damon Cruz, a fitness influencer she'd mentioned from the gym. The timestamp said 3 weeks ago while I'd been at a work conference. I scrolled further. More men, more places. Our bedroom, the couch, hotels. "She always said she was flexible," I muttered. "Guess I didn't realize how much." "Mr. Keller?" the officer prompted gently. I looked at Nico, oblivious, playing with a stress ball. "Not yet," I said, standing. "I'll handle this my way." My phone buzzed, Ariana calling. Perfect timing. Her white BMW screeched into the school parking lot just as I buckled Nico into the car. She jumped out, frantic, her perfect image cracking. "Dane, wait, let me explain." "Hi, Mommy," Nico said. "Why do you look scared?" "I'm not, sweetheart. Daddy and I just need to talk." I closed the car door and turned to face her. "Explain what exactly?" "How our son showed your sex tapes to his entire class." "It's not what you think." "Oh, really?" "Because what I think is that you've been screwing half of Cleveland and documenting it like a scrapbook on a device our kid uses." "Keep your voice down," she hissed, glancing at the watching parents. "It was just a phase." I was stressed, confused. I laughed bitterly. "A stressful quarter, huh? That'll play great with the school board." "Zane, please. I'll delete everything. We'll get counseling, whatever you want." "What I want," I said, stepping closer, "is an explanation. How could you risk our son seeing that garbage?" Tears spilled down her face. "I never meant for Nico to see it. I thought it was his tablet." "That's your concern?" "The mix-up." My voice rose. "Not that you were cheating and filming it?" 2 of her friends, Jenna and Tara, arrived, the self-appointed cavalry. "Zane, calm down," Jenna said. "People make mistakes." "A mistake?" I snapped. Forgetting milk is a mistake. This is betrayal on film. Tara added softly, you don't understand the pressure women are under. Oh, please, I cut in. She was exploring her desires in our house while her family slept. I turned to leave, but Jenna grabbed my arm. Where's the tablet? We need to keep this contained for Nico's sake. For Nico's sake, I repeated. That would have been thinking before filming. I drove off, leaving them standing there like a rejected reality TV cast. A text buzzed. Back off or I'll bury you. Signed D. Damon Cruz, I guessed. Another ping. Principal Rowe again. Emergency board meeting tomorrow, 7 p.m. Perfect. By Wednesday evening, the story had leaked. Someone, probably Mrs. Patel, had tipped off a local gossip blog. The school cafeteria was packed with parents, reporters, and neighbors. I sat in the front row. Ari sat 3 behind me, flanked by her friends like bodyguards. Principal Rowe opened the meeting. We're here regarding the incident during show and tell. Board member Janet Walsh leaned forward. Mr. Keller, this raises serious concerns about supervision. Child Protective Services may need to be involved. Before I could respond, Ari stood. I'd like to address the board. She walked to the front dressed in a conservative navy dress, hair pulled back, the perfect image of remorse. I want to apologize, she began. This was a terrible accident. My husband and I are having difficulties, and I made poor choices, but I love my son. I would never intentionally expose him to that content. Murmurs spread, sympathy building. Then she continued. My husband has been emotionally abusive, controlling, jealous. The videos were my way of reclaiming power. The crowd turned. Now I was the villain. I stood slowly. Emotional abuse? Let's define that. It's lying to your spouse while having multiple affairs. It's using family money for hotel rooms to film your escapades. It's storing those videos where your child can find them. The room went still. Emotional abuse, I continued, is standing here pretending to be a victim after destroying your family. I held up my phone. I went through her records. 17 hotel stays in 6 months. Hundreds of calls to strange numbers. And a Google Drive with 3 hours of videos featuring my wife and her partners. Chaos erupted. Reporters scribbled. Parents shouted. The real question, I said over the noise, is how a mother could be so careless with her own child's well-being. When the meeting ended, my car was vandalized, CUCK spray-painted across the windshield. A dead rat under the wiper. Damon's calling card. Later, I got a text from an unknown number. You want more? Come get it. Attached was an address. Game on. The address led to Primeform Fitness. I watched Damon from across the street, tan, tattooed, and insufferably smug. That evening, I printed 500 flyers featuring censored screenshots of his performances. Captioned, Ask Damon Cruz about his amateur film career, now showing at the elementary school. I plastered them everywhere: lockers, windshields, bulletin boards. When he came out and saw them, I stepped forward. Evening, Damon. Nice night for a chat. He sneered. You're the husband. Zane, right? Ari told me all about you. Did she mention our son showed your little movie at school? Dude, that's messed up, his buddy Ty muttered. Shut up, Ty, Damon snapped. Look, man, I'm sorry about the kid. That wasn't supposed to happen. But Ari and I have something real. She's begging me not to divorce her, I said. His smile faltered. She's scared. Once this settles. Settles? I dragged my keys down his Jeep, leaving a deep scratch. He lunged. I ran, knowing exactly where the cameras were and where they weren't. The chase through the garage was loud and clumsy. Everything was caught on video from the angle that made him look like the aggressor. That night, Damon posted a furious video online, calling me weak. I just smiled. The next day, a package arrived, USB drive. Note: You want the truth? It's worse than you think. The drive contained recordings of Ari and her friends plotting my destruction, fake abuse claims, custody strategies, asset hiding. In one video, Jenna's living room was visible. She'd been filming everything. Friday morning, I walked into Ari's office during their team luncheon. She went pale. Zane, what are you doing here? Thought I'd share something with your coworkers. Her boss, Patricia Chun, greeted me warmly until I connected my laptop to the big screen. The audio played Ari's voice plotting against me. The trick is to paint him as controlling. Nice guys make the best villains. I'll get full custody and half his assets. The room went silent. I showed bank records next. These hotels were paid with company cards. I believe that's against policy. Patricia turned on Ari, horrified. Then I revealed the texts between Ari and Damon discussing ruining me financially and sleeping together during company business trips. By the way, I added, Damon's your client's brand ambassador. I wonder how they'll feel about his extracurriculars with your employee. Patricia's voice shook with rage. Ariana, my office. Now. Ari glared at me. You're destroying everything. No, I said calmly. I'm just making sure everyone knows who did. That night, Damon showed up on my lawn, shouting threats. I stepped onto the porch live streaming everything. You cost me sponsorships, he yelled. Probably less than you'll lose tomorrow, I replied. Family-friendly brands don't love sex tape stars. You're streaming this? He barked. Everything, I said, including your threats. Within minutes, thousands were watching. Damon fled. Saturday at the city festival, I set the final trap. I invited both of them under the guise of peace. Hidden mic, open speakers. When they arrived, I got them talking about the affairs, the betrayal, the lies. Every word echoed across Riverside Park. The crowd listened, horrified. Ari tried to run, tripped, and fell into the dunk tank. Damon slipped in after her. The crowd roared. I took off the mic. The truth has been served, I said, walking away to cheers. By evening, the videos of the confrontation were everywhere. Sunday, Damon broke into my house, caught on my upgraded security cameras. Live streamed to thousands. Police arrested him hours later. When Ari called, desperate, I cut her off. Nico doesn't deserve this. You made your choices. Now you live with them. She threatened custody battles. I told her she'd need a psychological evaluation first. That night, I told Nico the truth in gentle words. Mommy made bad choices. That's why she can't live here anymore. Can we get a dog? He asked. I laughed. Yeah, buddy. We can. Later, news alerts rolled in. Fitness influencer arrested for break-in. Marketing exec fired amid scandal. Suburban dad's revenge goes viral. Nico was asleep. My house was quiet. Justice had finally caught up. And when a final anonymous text appeared, you won. Friend, I smiled, deleted it, and turned off my phone. Justice served.